Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I cannot wait to share with you this bokeh background. It's one of my favorite backgrounds to make. I'm going to be using distress inks for this. I'm going to be using shaded lilac and squeezed lemonade and spun sugar. So I like to use the rules of threes. So what I'm going to have you do is spread that color kind of around in threes. So kind of make a triangle pattern. And for this technique, you're going to want to press hard. We want to really work that ink into the paper and saturate it really well. So go ahead and continue to do this with your other colors. Again, using that kind of triangle feel, and just get a feel for it. And you want to do this until, of course, your paper is saturated with color, but also do it to your liking. And remember, if you feel like you've messed this up, don't worry about it. Just keep adding color and layering it until you get it exactly to where you want it. Okay, I'm just going to fast forward. So I've put all my color on my paper. You see I've moved it around. Keep in the back of your mind the size card you're going to be having, because you want to make sure you get all those colors in that 4x6 or 5x7 size. Okay, now once that's done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the circles. You can use whatever size circles you want. It's better to have maybe a big, a medium, and a large. I only have a medium and 2 smalls, but that'll work fine for this. So I'm going to be using my favorite things, white pigment ink. You need a pigment ink for this because it's slow drying, and you want to be able to really move the color around and soften it, which is what I'll be showing you here next. But any pigment ink will do. You can use whatever color you have on hand, but I really like white for this. So you're going to go ahead and start spreading your circles out. Just randomize it. Put them everywhere, small, little, on top of each other, next to each other. You want to just really spread them out and kind of have them all over. That's really important because what we're going to be doing is softening some of these. So when we stamp on top of them, we're going to have some look as though they're in the foreground and some look as though they're in the background. So that layering element is really important here. And again, don't worry about this. You can't mess this up. We can only just make it look even better. So now that it's stamped, I'm going to take the tiniest amount of white ink and I'm going to just super softly go over my dots. And if you remember on the space background video, I talked about how when you press really, really lightly, it wants to be almost like you have a sunburn and you barely want to touch it. So we're just going to really softly go over those circles and just soften them. And this is where we start to get that bokeh effect, because now we're going to stamp on top of that. So some of these circles are going to fade into the background, and some of these are going to look like they're on top and they're going to pop. Now when I'm making a bokeh background, I will sometimes repeat this process 3 or 4 times. Sometimes I will blend in those circles till they are barely recognizable, and then keep layering the circles so you really get that depth. And remember, I'm doing it here with circles, but this would be really fun with stars or hearts or some other really fun and interesting shape. So use your imagination. So here I thought I was done, but I decided I wanted it softer. So don't be afraid to go back in and tweak it and get it just to where you want it. And remember, it is going to look different too once you cut the edges off and make it nice and clean and ready for your card. You can see here, it really has that bokeh effect. I absolutely love the pastel look of this bokeh, but remember, you could be doing this in rainbow colors, and believe me, it looks amazing. It pops. Create your rainbow colors, blend those colors any direction you want. Make sure you do layers of circles and soften it, and you'll get that beautiful bokeh look. Thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to check out my other sites and come back each week for more ideas and fun.